Hey everyone, want to do a quick video on the top 5 cons of living in Houston, Texas. All right, so we're going to jump right into it. Number 5 is going to be air quality, and these are ranked from probably what most people would consider least important to the most important cons. So number 5, air quality. We do have, EPA ranks us number 2 as the worst place for air quality in the US in the urban areas. That's a contribution of vehicle emissions, the oil refinery plants that we have around here, petrochemical plants, stuff like that. It's just a fact. Houston is known to have some pretty poor air quality, and something to think about if you have like respiratory problems or breathing problems, things like that, medical conditions that you're concerned with. Definitely something to research and take a look at. All right, my name is Eric Shelby. I'm a licensed real estate agent and realtor in the state of Texas. Me and my team focus solely on the Houston area. So if you're moving to Houston, I'd love to have a one-on-one conversation with you. I'll put my contact information down below. You can call, you can text, you can email us. And we usually get back same day, typically within an hour or two, we'll reach back out to you. If you call, we'll almost always answer the phone unless we're with the client, in which case we will get back to you. So don't hesitate to reach out to us. All right, so moving on, the number 4 con of living in Houston, Texas is going to be property taxes. We are a little bit higher than the national average at 1.6% across the state. That's the average. The national average is just south of 1% at 0.99. So how that would equate to you in dollars and cents is to say that if your home appraises by your county at, say, $100,000, you're going to be paying roughly $1,600 a year in property taxes. That's either a check or it's going to increase your mortgage payment for the portion that goes into escrow to cover those taxes. So something to consider. Houston area, we're usually around 2%. So that is offset a little bit because we don't pay a state income tax. So that's kind of the trade-off there. You don't pay an income tax, but there is a little bit higher of a property tax, and something to investigate there or maybe consider when purchasing a home in the Houston area. All right, number 3 is going to be hurricanes. Hurricanes are a factor here. I can remember them as a kid. It's just been part of my life growing up. And recent memory, we had Hurricane Harvey in 2017. And that was a rain event mostly, so it just kind of moved in, sat on top of Houston and just rained for days, flooded out many areas. Something to think about looking at 100-year flood maps and things like that if you're purchasing home in the area. You can see we are close to the Gulf Coast, so say you purchase on the south side of Houston down here, you could be as close as 15, 20 miles from the Gulf Coast, which is you're gonna have increased wind speeds when hurricanes make landfall versus being 70 miles up to the north, as far as 70 miles. And those lower wind speeds because the hurricanes deteriorate as they move over land. So that might be weighing your decision if you want to live on the north side or the south side. Something to think about with hurricanes. Recently we had Hurricane Beryl come through. Even I lost all my fences, got knocked down. We had 80 to 100 mile an hour winds come through here in my backyard. It was something. Most people just get out of town when anything more than a Cat 1's coming. Most people will go up to Dallas or Austin, make a weekend trip, and then come back to deal with the remnants of a hurricane. All right, so the number 2 con of living in Houston, Texas is going to be the traffic and congestion. Houston is consistently ranked in the top 10 worst cities for traffic and congestion. And one site I read said the average Houston commuter can expect to spend about 60 hours a year sitting in traffic. So you can mitigate that a little bit by living closer to where you work and take that into consideration when you're looking for a home. We do have a video that covers some of the suburbs. If you want to watch that video, I'll link to it above. And you can watch that, kind of get an idea of the different suburbs around the city. But we have some major loops. We have the 99 Parkway, that's a toll road. We have the Sam Houston Toll Road, which is the kind of middle loop. And then we have the inner loop, we call it. It's the 610, and that's right on the edge of downtown. 610 stays pretty heavily congested, especially in the mornings and afternoons. And then the toll roads around Houston, they're not so bad, but during heavy peak times of the day, they can get congested as well. Running north to south, we have 45, and then east to west, we have Interstate 10. Those can get pretty bad too, especially like the energy corridor out here towards Katy, and then up north towards the Woodlands. They get pretty bad in those areas. And then a lot of feeder roads like 290, 59. Again, during congested hours, those can get pretty bad. All right, so the number 1 con of living in Houston, Texas is going to be the heat. Like, it can get really hot in Texas. I think right now we're sitting about 95 degrees with about 80% humidity. And having lived all over the country and the world, I can tell you, like Tucson at 105 with 10% humidity is far different than Houston at 90 degrees with 80% humidity. Most people spend their day jumping from air conditioning to air conditioning, try to get their exercise in the morning, and then just AC to AC all day. It can get pretty brutally hot. Our hot months are kind of July, August, September, and then it starts cooling down. Cold months are December, January, February, and the average temperatures in the winter are 41 degrees during those cold months, and then the hot months, the average temperatures are around 91 degrees. You could also see that as a pro. We have mild winters, so we rarely see snow in Houston. If you don't like the snow, you don't like the cold, you might consider that a pro. All right, that's going to wrap it up. That's the top 5 cons of living in Houston, Texas. We appreciate you watching. If you think you got something from this video, I appreciate you smashing that like button. And if you want to get notified when we release new videos, hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon. That gives you push notifications when we do release new videos. Again, if you have any concerns, real estate or otherwise, veterans, benefits, things like that, I can talk to that at length, and I'm happy to have those conversations. Reach out to us. Our contact information is in the description below. Other than that, thanks for watching. Have a great day.